Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presta Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatarane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripas Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sri Advaita Acharya Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Nikunja Seva. Hare Krishna. Somebody. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Yes, devotees, so now we will have a class again on Advaita Acharya. Now, unfortunately, I was not aware that we were going to have an evening class also until this morning. Otherwise, I would have prepared differently. So anyway, Advaita Acharya is part of Mahavishnu. We heard there are two parts. One is the part which is Lord Vishnu, who glances over the material energy and activates it. And then Advaita Acharya, as the material cause, he then takes those ingredients. Lord Vishnu glances, the material nature becomes activated, and the ingredient parts, like earth, water, fire, air, ether, the three modes, and so on, they all manifest by the glance of Lord Vishnu, who is the efficient cause in technical terms. Then Advaita takes all those ingredients and empowers them for whatever parts they're going to play in the creation. Does that make sense? Maybe sometime in the future. Anyway, let me just say it again, but in slightly different words. Lord Vishnu, as the efficient cause, glances over the pradhan. The pradhan is all the different things that make up the material world, but they're all merged together. So he glances, and each of those different parts, like the earth, the water, the fire, the three modes, all these different ingredients, they separate out from each other. Do you get that? I think you get that. It's sort of like if you video someone making a soup, then in the beginning, you've got some veggies, you've got some water, you've got some ghee or oil, you've got some spices, and you mix them all together, and then, you cook them, and in the end you get a soup. And if you really cook it, all the veggies just merge into everything. You get the idea. That's pretty clear. But now you video it. Then you play the video back in reverse. You see? So in the end, you get the veggies, the water, the spices. You get the idea. You get the idea. Right. So Vishnu glances over the soup of the merged material nature, and all the ingredients separate, and then they stand on their own. There's the earth, there's the water, there's the fire. You get the idea. So that's Vishnu. Then Advaita takes all those ingredients and empowers them, so Lord Brahma can use them. You get that? Get me? Sure? Not sure. He takes all that, the earth, the water, the fire, the air, the three modes, mind, intelligence, false ego, all these things, and then empowers them so they can be used. Otherwise, they're just standing there. They're just standing there. But now they've got to be sort of prepared or empowered so they can be used in the creation of the universe. You get that idea? I think it's straightforward enough. So that's Advaita. He is that aspect of Vishnu. He's part of Vishnu. The part, not the part which glances and separates all the different ingredients from each other, but the part which then takes those separate ingredients and empowers them so they can be used in the creation. I'm not going to say more about that. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about some pastimes, couple of pastimes. Right, so here's one. When Lord Caitanya took sannyas, is it too cold? Is it too hot? Are you all right? Are you okay? So, okay, Lord Caitanya took sannyas. We mentioned that just the other day. It was a bit of a, we were not prepared, but we said some things about it. So Lord Caitanya went and took sannyas. And when he took, just immediately, like the next day, after having taken sannyas, Lord Caitanya decided, I want to go to Vrindavan now. Now. I want to go to Vrindavan. He told this to Lord Nityananda. Now, Lord Nityananda had another idea. Just don't put it near the computer. Lord Nityananda had another idea, which he didn't want to tell Lord Caitanya. His idea was because when Lord Caitanya took sannyas, everyone in Navadvip was devastated, particularly his mother and his wife and his mother. So Lord Nityananda felt, soon as he takes sannyas, I got to take him back to Navadvip so the devotees can see him again, otherwise they may die. So Lord Caitanya said, right, I'm going to Vrindavan. Take me to Vrindavan. He'd never been there before. He didn't know the way. Lord Nityananda had been there and had lived there. And Lord Nityananda, he knew all about all these things. So Lord Nityananda said, right, no problem. Let's go. Let's go. Just follow me. And took him on the road back to Navadvip. Of course, without telling him. And so, from Katwa, I mentioned, from Katwa to Navadvip was not a long way. It's not a long way. Yeah. Anyway, it's not far at all. I mean, you're talking about, it's not 100 kilometers. It's, anyway, yeah. It's sort of, maybe it's 100 kilometers, maybe it's 60 or 70. So as they're going, they would encounter people on the road, of course, because, in that part of the world, in India, you just get lots of people. You just get loads of people. So as they're walking, they would encounter people, and Lord Caitanya would ask them, how much further to Vrindavan? So Lord Nityananda had to intervene and somehow to get Lord Caitanya out, away from that person, before the person said, Vrindavan, you're going the wrong way. It's a long way. I mean, you're talking about, it could be a couple of 1,000 kilometers or something. So then Lord Nityananda adopted the practice when he would see people coming, or like they'd see farmers, cowherds doing their thing along the road. Lord Nityananda would run ahead and tell those people, if the Swami asks you, is this the way to Vrindavan? Just say, yeah, sure, keep going. So they did that. The people all did that. And Lord Caitanya was happy. Say, right, we're on our way. We are going to Vrindavan. So then there they were, they're on their way. And who should they meet? They're basically following the river. Who should they meet? On a boat, but Advaita Acharya. And they got on the boat, and Lord Caitanya said, what are you doing in Vrindavan? And Advaita Acharya told him, listen, we're not going to Vrindavan. You're coming. Actually, he took him to Shantipur, which is sort of around on the other side of Navadweep, but the river, even you've been to Mayapur, haven't you? The Kunja Seva, a few times, right? Even since I've been going there, I went first in 76, so 46 years. The river has changed direction. Oh, yeah. So, in those days, 500 years ago, the river was also, there was a branch going down past Shantipur, which is not there now, but you were there with us? Yeah. But you can see the riverbed is there. It's just flat, kind of narrowish and flat. It's the old riverbed. So they went with Advaita Acharya by boat to Shantipur. And then when they got there, so it's Lord Caitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Advaita Acharya. They arrived there. The other Navadweep Vasis, they have not arrived there, because they don't know. Yeah, because in those days, they did not have WhatsApp. Seriously. How did they live? Anyway, don't worry. They didn't have, what's the one called, the new one? Telegram. No telegram. They did not even have telephones. Can you believe it? How did they survive? Yes. So the message had to be taken by someone on foot. And so the devotees all came, and Mother Sachi came. And so many of the Navadweep devotees came, but they came like a day later or something. But now it's just Lord Caitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Advaita Acharya. And did you go to Shantipur? You went, okay. So in Shantipur, the place of Advaita Acharya, it's very nice. There's a place where they sat down the bottom near where the river was. So anyway, they arrived, and Advaita Acharya and his wife cooked. And they really cooked a feast. And in Bengal, you know what a feast means? You know what a feast means? Rice and? Well, rice. It means rice. Rice, and after the rice, you have rice. And then you have rice. But with different sabjis. And in Bengal, do you know the style, the way they cook sabjis? They do not mix vegetables, generally. So you'll have a potato sabji, then you'll have a cauliflower sabji, and then you'll have some sort of spinach, or a few types even. This is Bengali style cooking. Yeah, so Advaita Acharya and his wife prepared all these different preparations. And Advaita Acharya then started serving Lord Caitanya and Lord Nityananda. So first of all, what did he serve them? No, you must say rice, not rice. You got to get into it. This is Bengali style. So he served them a whole, pile of rice and then some sabjis. And first sabji would be spinach, some type of spinach. Or no, actually, sukta. First would be sukta, which is actually, some different things mixed together. But then it would be spinach. Maybe a few types. Red, lal sag, lal sag. You get lal sag here. It's not, is it red actually? It is red, okay. Because lal means red. So now Advaita Acharya is serving the sabjis, and Lord Nityananda protested. Lord Nityananda, Lord Caitanya said, how am I going to eat this much? This is too much. I cannot eat so much. Lord Caitanya thought the amount of prasadam was enormous, just enormous. But Lord Nityananda his mood was different. Let me just see if I can find some details. Where am I? Anyway, this must be here somewhere. So, Lord Nityananda, he sort of got angry, and he picked up some rice and threw it on the floor, and threw some at Advaita Acharya. And when Advaita Acharya was touched by the rice thrown by Lord Nityananda, he became ecstatic and he started dancing. He just started dancing in ecstasy. Oh, here it is. Let me just see. Wow, this is amazing. Wow. I'm going to read this. You'll have to sit down. You're all sitting down. You'll have to fasten your seat belts. But first of all, what happened? Where am I? Oh, here I am. Yeah. First of all, Nityananda threw some of the prasadam on the floor, and then he threw it at Advaita Acharya. And he said, Nityananda said, I have been fasting for 3 days, and I greatly hope to break my fast today. But even though I am invited by Advaita Acharya, today also is a fast. So small a quantity of food will not even fill half my belly. And Advaita Acharya replied, Sir, you are a mendicant traveling on pilgrimage. Sometimes you eat fruits and roots, and sometimes you simply go on fasting. I'm a poor Brahmin, and you have come to my house. Please be satisfied with whatever little food you've received, and give up your greedy mentality. Lord Nityananda replied, whatever I may be, you have invited me. Therefore you must supply as much as I want to eat. Then Advaita Acharya, taking the opportunity presented by these joking words, said, "You," he's speaking to Nityananda, "you are a reject Paramahansa, and you have accepted the renounced order of life just to fill your belly. I can understand that your business is to give trouble to Brahmins." Yes. And then they both said some more things. Listen to this. This is just amazing. Wow. But keep your seatbelts fastened. As they were thus engrossed in merriment, soon they began to argue and abuse each other. Advaita said, "You simpleton, you drunkard, who asked you to come to this place? Why did you force your way in here? Who calls you a sannyasi? No one knows your family background or caste, and it is well known that you eat in the house of anyone from any caste. How does a mad, intoxicated person like you find himself in the company of Vaishnavas? If you do not leave right away, then you will find yourself in real trouble." Wow, this is intense, isn't it? Is it keeping you awake? Nityananda replied, "You baldy fellow, you would be wise to sit quietly. I will first show you my power and strength with a few blows. You foolish old Brahmin, have you no fear? I am an Avadhuta renunciate and the brother of the Lord. You are a householder, totally engrossed in family life, whereas I am a fully renounced and realized soul. If I strike you, you will not be able to say or do anything. But still, without reason, you're trying to show off in front of me." These words incensed Advaita with a burning rage. He flung off his clothes in all directions and began to severely chastise Nityananda. He said, "You fish-eater, you meat-eater, how do you call yourself a sannyasi? I have undressed myself before you in sheer disgust. Who knows you? What about your parents, your house? Nothing about you is known to anyone." What a menace this drunkard is. Hare Krishna. Are you okay? You're all right? You're not too disturbed, shaken, frightened? Okay. So, here's an interesting point. Lord Advaita Acharya, he was a householder, and he had 6 sons. Interesting point. 3 of them became great devotees. The leader, the oldest, was Achyutananda, and he's actually an incarnation of the Lord. Really great devotee. But the other 3 sons became Mayavadis. Yeah. and they became offenders against Lord Caitanya, in the sense that, and it's still going on today to some degree, in the sense that they felt, and they still feel, that because Advaita Acharya was senior to Lord Caitanya, so he should be offered respect first. Yeah, that's what they felt. That's what they feel to this day. I met some of them. Yeah. And therefore, Caitanya Charitamrita talks about this actually. This is from Caitanya Charitamrita. Therefore, they were rejected. They were rejected. And it just goes to show that even if someone is the child of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if they are not careful, they can go off track, let alone little old us, with our multitudes of shortcomings. So 3 of them became Mayavadis. They were rejected. Srila Prabhupada, well, Lord Krishna, one of his sons in Dwaraka, one of the sons of Rukmini, of Satyabhama, yeah. One of the sons of Lord Krishna by Satyabhama, he got into bad association. He got into the association of, I forget who it was, Banasura, of Banasura. And he became a demon. He became Narakasura. And Narakasura was killed by Krishna. He's the son, like you could say the biological son, so to speak, of Lord Krishna himself personally. And when Lord Krishna went to kill Narakasura, he took Satyabhama with him, who was the mother. And just as he's just about to kill him, he turned to Satyabhama and he asked, "Is it all right if I kill him?" Because he's her son. And, generally the connection is closer from the mother's side than from the father's side. So he asked her, and she said, "Yes, you can kill him." And with the permission of the mother, well, actually, he was the son not of Satyabhama. He was the son of Bhumi by Lord Varaha. Yeah. And Bhumi comes from Satyabhama, not from Rukmini. So therefore, Lord Krishna took it that Satyabhama is sort of like the representative of the mother, and he took permission, and she said, "Yes, you can kill him." Then he killed him. And that, devotees, happened on the Diwali day. On the Diwali day. Okay. So anyway, the point is, and we know Srila Prabhupada, one of his sons became a demon. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. And he told one of our devotees, there was a big court case. It went on for ages. And At one point he told one of Prabhupada's disciples, well, in Srimad Bhagavatam, can anyone remind me who was the father of Vena? Anyone know who was the father of Vena? Mother Prema Gali, do you know? Huh? Anga. Maybe. Oh gosh. Who was the father of Vena? Anga. You're right. Oh. Yeah. He knows everything. Omniscient. So the devotee, this son of Srila Prabhupada said to the devotee, you know, you are like you are like Prahlad. Yeah. Your father was like Hiranyakashipu. This is like an American devotee. Now you're like Prahlad, your father was a demon. But I am like Vena, who was the son of Anga. In other words, Anga, because Anga was a great devotee. He was a great devotee. So I'm like Vena. Vena was such a demon. Completely crazy. But his father Anga was a great devotee. Do you get the connection? You're like Parikshit, the American. You're like Prahlad. Your father, because a lot of the parents of the American devotees were just pretty demoniac. Your father was like Hiranyakashipu. But I'm like Vena. My father was like Anga. Okay. So, let's see. I'm going to tell you now a very interesting thing. Well, anyway, the point is, and it's such an important point, that anyone can fall down and become a nonsense or worse if they're not careful. So we really have to be careful to stick at it and not get sidetracked, by the allurements of Maya. It's just so important. Because otherwise you can suddenly find, wow, what happened to me? Yeah. So now I'm going to tell you the story and read you some of the verses. It's from the Antya Leela Caitanya Charitamrita, chapter 19. It's one of the last chapters of the whole Caitanya Charitamrita. So, Jagadananda Pandit he was close associate of Lord Chaitanya. Actually, he is Satyabhama. Jagadananda Pandit went from Puri to Navadvip. He would go different places from time to time, actually. So while he was in Navadvip, he met all the devotees, of course, including Advaita Acharya. Yeah. And he brought them presents from Puri. He brought them Jagannath Mahaprasad, and he stayed for 1 month he stayed for 1 month in Navadweep, just telling them, having programs like every night, telling them just what Lord Caitanya was doing, so many things every night. And all the devotees would gather. But then after a month it became time to go back to Puri. So first he took permission from Mother Sachi. Can I go back to Puri, please? And she said yes. Then he went to Advaita Acharya and asked him, can I return to Puri? And Advaita Acharya said yes, but I have a special message that you must take and deliver to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So, that message was in the form of a poem or a sonnet. A sonnet is a type of poem, rhyming verse, in sort of esoteric language, equivocal language, that you could understand one way, but it could mean something else. Yeah. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says, with an import, with a meaning that Lord Chaitanya could understand, but others could not. So Jagadananda Pandit took this poem, sonnet, to Jagannath Puri and gave it to Lord Chaitanya. So in his poem, Advaita Acharya first offered his obeisances hundreds and thousands of times to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. First thing. But then came the message. And listen to this. Bola ke kahiha loka, haila baula. Bola ke kahiha hate, na vikaya chaula. Please inform Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is acting like a madman, that everyone here has become mad like him. Inform him also that in the marketplace, rice is no longer in demand. Did you hear that? Did you catch that? What's not in demand any longer? Rice in the marketplace. So it sounds just, like kind of unusual message. But the bottom line, that in the marketplace rice is no longer in demand. Sounds like, it's very ordinary. They ran out of rice. The Bengalis ate them out of rice. So, then the next verse, because baula means madman. Yeah. Baula ke kahiha kaye, nahi ka aula. Baula ke kahiha iha, kahiyache baula. Baula, madman. Further tell him that those people now mad in ecstatic love are no longer interested in the material world. Also tell Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that a person who has also become a madman in ecstatic love, that's Advaita, has spoken these words. It's spoken by a madman. So what's he saying? Do you understand what he's saying? That through the Sankirtan movement, everybody has received Krishna prema. Yeah. Everyone has become mad in love for Krishna. And because everyone has become mad, therefore, there's no one left to preach to. Because everyone's become not just a devotee, but totally in the madness of love for Krishna. So therefore, in the marketplace, the hata means the marketplace. In the nama hata, there's no more sale, no more demand for rice. Everyone's got their Krishna prema. So even we go out and try and distribute more, there's no new customers. Yeah, that's the first verse. Rice is no longer in demand. And those people who are now mad in love of God, they're just not interested in the material world. You know, they're liberated. They're not just they've received it, but they're liberated. And also, at the end, also, tell Lord Caitanya that this poem has been written by a madman, Baula. In other words, Advaita has also become completely mad in love of God. Do you follow? Okay, so now Lord Chaitanya's reaction, his response. After hearing the equivocal sonnet by Advaita Acharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quietly smiled. That is his order, he said. Then he fell silent. Although he knew the secret, Swarup Damodar Goswami inquired from the Lord, "What is the meaning of this sonnet? I could not understand it." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Advaita Acharya is a great worshipper of the Lord and is very expert in the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic literatures. Advaita Acharya invites the Lord to come and be worshipped, and to perform the worship, he keeps the deity himself for some time. After the worship is completed, he sends the deity somewhere else. I do not know the meaning of this sonnet, nor do I know what is in Advaita Prabhu's mind." This is Lord Chaitanya speaking. Of course he knows. He knows. And then the Lord said, Advaita Acharya is a great mystic. No one can understand him. He is expert in writing sonnets that even I myself cannot understand. Hearing this, all the devotees were astonished, especially Swarup Damodar, who became somewhat morose. Because he understood, Swarup Damodar understood, that Advaita Acharya has told Lord, Advaita Acharya called him to come. We read that this morning. Now he's telling him, time to go. He calls the deity, he does some worship for a while, and then he says, all right, he sends the deity away. Yeah. So Swarup Damodar understands, therefore he feels morose, that Lord Chaitanya is going to stop his pastimes. He's going to leave. From that day on, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's emotional state changed markedly. His feelings of separation from Krishna doubled in intensity. So right in the very last stages of his pastimes, Lord Chaitanya just went into a state of madness. And like they would, he would stay in his little room. The Gambhira is just a small little room. You can't stand up in it. But a devotee would be right at the door, so he couldn't go out. And Lord Chaitanya, when he couldn't go out, he'd rub his face against the wall until his face would be bleeding. And sometimes he'd get out and he'd just go running. And there's famous story. He went running down to the sea, to the ocean, and he thought it was the Yamuna. And he just ran into the Yamuna and got washed away by the ocean. And a fisherman found him, or caught him in his net actually, down the beach some distance. Yeah. So Lord Chaitanya, from that time that he received the message from Advaita Acharya, that everyone has become mad. Everyone has become mad, like you, Lord Chaitanya. And as a result, in the marketplace, rice is no longer in demand. And this has been said by a madman. So Lord Chaitanya just went mad. And then finally, he just disappeared. Hare Krishna. Shri Advaita Acharya Ke. Shri Advaita Acharya Ke. Shri Advaita Acharya Ke. Any comments or questions, devotees? Yes.
May I ask a question relating to the world situation today?
Oh. Can you ask a question regarding the world situation today?
I just want to know how we can best pray for the people in Russia and Ukraine with the imminent apparent danger there.
How we can pray for the people. It's more the people in Ukraine than the people in Russia. Yeah, but they're not going to be attacked. It's just the people in Ukraine. Well, yes, you can just make a prayer. I would say, make a prayer to Lord Krishna to please protect the devotees in Ukraine, particularly the devotees. I mean, you can also say, protect everyone, but please particularly protect the devotees. Because, it looks like they're going to attack. I mean, who knows, but yeah. And if they do attack, some devotees will probably be killed. Yeah. Because, lots of people will just be sort of indiscriminately killed. Yeah. So just a simple prayer as you feel. Please protect particularly the devotees in Ukraine. Hare Krishna. Now, as I said, I got into this big meeting. Whoa. Whoops. This major meeting, my gosh, it was quite something. And as a result, I missed practically the whole japa time. Yeah. So I'm now going to sit right here, right now, and chant japa. And if anyone wants to chant with me, they can. And if anyone wants to just move along, they can. Okay? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Advaita Acharya ki jai. Hari Bol. So I've got, 3 rounds.